G'day guys, and Eve Echo's Noob coming to you with another video. This time I'm out there trying to make a request or a public service announcement or a plea based on whatever it is and why it is that you're killing the bases, but it's something that I wanted to touch on really to hammer it home, hopefully because it's going to help us all out in the long run. So it was touched on by Sov in the beta data review video. Benzie had his own video on it, and I don't think it's even really cut through. There's a lot of people still talking about how anomaly mechanics and such work that I thought it's worth really getting into this one. So if you like this one, give us a like, give us a sub, throw me some comments, whatever it is. You know the way it all works, so just get straight into it. Essentially, I want to go through why it is that people are killing the Anom, and why you shouldn't. So the Scout and Inquisitor sites drop the best loot. If you don't know about that, we'll get into it in a sec. Besides Dead Space, which also rely on this mechanic. Bases will give some faction loot, but nothing compared to what Dead Space can. But ultimately the markets will be better, and we'll have faction items and rigs, and we'll get more marketers, we'll get haulers out there, so the pirates will have more targets. Like, generally I think everything will work better, even if it's just for the first 2 months. People just lay off the bases. If you're out there griefing, personally I think it'd be more fun to go and grief a guy who's got a well-fitted ship rather than just go out and knock out bases and mean that they can't go out and get their own loot. It's not my thing, so I can't really talk to how a griefer works. But thank you for being a douchebag in game, because you give me someone else to go and hunt, because you're going to grief someone else and I'm just going to try and grief you by taking you down. It's the way I like to play, so I need you in the game. As much as I just really hope you hold off in the first 2 months from taking out bases. So if you're not sure on what the deal is with Scout and Inquisitor sites and bases, and I think this is one of the other reasons that people were getting confused because of the way that this wording worked in the initial launch text of the game. So after clearing a level 6 or higher invading pirate base cosmic anomaly, there is a very small chance that this kind of new Dead Space will appear. It was the same for the Scout and Inquisitor Amoms, but I think what's clear to distinct is that bases and sites are two different things. The reality is this shouldn't have said base, and I think that confused a lot of players. If you defeat these, you get faction ship debris for reverse engineering equipment. So this is to build those pirate faction ships, your Macarials, or even earlier on your Dramiels, or I'm stuck with what the other ships are now. The Worm, all of these really good ships. But ultimately people were going and knocking out bases because they thought that was going to trigger the anomalies, and it's not. So the way this should read is like this: after clearing a level 6 or higher pirate cosmic anomaly or site, there's a very small chance this kind of Dead Space will appear. Same with the Scout and Inquisitor anomalies. If you don't know how the anomalies work, basically you got a level. The superscript number is the tier or the tech level of the pirates, and then there's these other things in the naming that dictates what they are. So small, medium and large, base, Scout, Inquisitor and Dead Space. Generally the difficulty runs this way. Base, Scout and Inquisitor could probably be interchangeable. There's not really a line on which one of these is harder or easier. The base, they generally all come at you at once. The Scout and the Inquisitors have acceleration gates and you have to take them on piece by piece, but that means you can actually sit there and rebuild your shield or your armor in between, where the base you can't. But the base generally doesn't have as many bad guys, particularly in those higher levels when you start getting pirate faction enemies within these as well. So above level 6 you'll start seeing the pirate ships as well as whatever the normal type that you're used to seeing prior to that. The way it works is you'll have two standard site types in spawns in the systems. You have a maximum system level spawn, which is based on the security level of the solar system you're in. Generally they work in 2-point steps, so like a 0.1 and a 0.9 security system will be Tech 1 pirates, and then 0.8 and 0.7 will be Tech 2 pirates, and so on. It's not exactly like that. I don't know the exact levels that they operate on, but it's roughly that market. So a 0 system is probably going to be about a Tech 5, a 0.5 is going to be about a Tech 7, Tech 8, something like that, but sorry, a negative 0.5. Generally that's how it operates. There's also these other spawns which are base level and lower spawns, which if you attack one of these and defeat it, if the base anomaly is still in play, it will spawn another site within minutes of you warping away from it. The maximum system level spawns will not, so you can take out the bases that have a tech level higher than the base, and they won't respawn another anomaly. The ones that are at the base level or lower, they will. So as soon as you defeat it, you warp away, wait a little bit, a new site will pop up. There's a small chance that one of these sites could be a Scout or Inquisitor site, or, as the text above said, it could be a Dead Space site if you're above a level 6 anomaly. I've done a bit of stats based on the data they released on what that is, so I'll get into that in a sec. But if you kill the base, that means that the spawns stop, which means that the Scout and Inquisitor spawns stop. If you go then and kill all of the other small bases, no more spawns until a new base appears. The base reappears after a point in time. I don't know exactly the mechanics of it, but it takes at least hours, if not days, and it's always back at Tech 1, so it resets, which means you've got very little chance of getting a Dead Space spawn. This is why I'd prefer we all hold off on it, just to allow the loot to build up. And then if you want to go griefing, go ahead and grief, whatever. It's just a request from me out there to you guys to try and actually build up the loot and get the market running nicely for us at launch. So where I got this data from was basically the beta data dump that the guys gave us on the Discord, and I used the tech level and the type to sort of come up with what it was. I just put it in a bit nicer format. So generally what we're looking at is there were 481,000 small, medium or large anomaly sites defeated. There were 26,000 Inquisitor and Scout sites, and only 257, literally 257 Dead Space sites got defeated in that 2-week beta. To put it into context, there was 1 in 7, so 70 odd thousand bases destroyed, which is way higher than what I would have expected if everyone knew how the mechanics worked. I don't think there's that many griefers out there, but maybe there is. I don't know. You guys tell me. So that's 14 odd % of this number were destroyed in bases, or 1 in 7. So for every 7 small, medium or large sites that got destroyed, someone went and destroyed a base. It's obscene. I don't know why. Sob's asked for the mechanics to be changed. I'm with him in that call. I don't think it should be that easy to just knock out the way of getting decent loot in the game. The 26,000 special types, so that's for every 18.5 standard sites, there was a Inquisitor or a Scout site. Now I know because I took down probably 7 or 8 of these with myself and my court mates. I tried to get a Dead Space site and I just couldn't get there because I couldn't get any high enough bases. That every time I went looking, the bases had all been knocked out and they were back down at Tech 1 or Tech 3 at the top. It was ridiculous. So what that meant was it's 1,872. So for every 1,800 and 1,900 small, medium or large bases, there was a Dead Space site. Now that's just ridiculous, guys. We've got to get on top of that because, like you can read there, 0.05%. That's ridiculous. I did a bit more on it just because it's probably not quite that bad based on the fact that you can only get them from Tech 6. So in Tech 6 there were really only sort of 16 odd % of these sites were Tech 6 or higher, but that still puts us in the marker of 0.33% or 1 in about 300. So it's still pretty rare to get your hands on the Dead Space sites, and I think a lot of the stuff even came from one of the dev events rather than actually because of Dead Space sites. So we really got to get on top of that and make sure that we don't knock these bases out until we get some decent loot out of them. Curious to hear your thoughts on it, but that's just my opinion. And I just threw some examples in there of what you would expect when you're looking through your overview panel on which sites you should or shouldn't take out. So on this side, These are systems where the base has actually gone to max level. These are level 1, so not really that much of a big deal, but if you take the base out, you got to wait for the base to respawn. Otherwise, you kill one of these and it won't come back. You'll wind up with no bases in the system. This one's one where an Inquisitor has spawned, hence the little star next to it, which is fantastic. So every time you kill one of these tick anomalies, large, medium, or small, you can see that they're at the same tech level as the base. So you kill one, and one will respawn when you walk away, with a chance of it being an Inquisitor. So this was one that I created by taking these sites out. I think I had to take out about 7 to get the Inquisitor to spawn. I'm happy to grind that away if I have to. So I knew of how to do it, but I had a lot of people telling me, no, you go and kill the base, that's where you get the good loot from. Wrong. You can get some loot from the base, but that's not where you actually get it from. The best loot comes from Inquisitors, Scouts, or Dead Spaces. In this side, these are systems that have the max system level spawn and the base level spawn. So this is, you can't really see it very well, but we've got 6s and 9s. So the 9 is the system level spawn. You can kill it, but it won't respawn a new site when you walk away. It will at some point in time, but not straight away. These ones, if you kill them, they will spawn a new site when you walk away. If you kill this site, all the spawns stop until a new base recurs, which is a Tech 1 base, and then you've got to wait days for it to level back up. So just not a great idea. This is an example where if you kill that base, you've killed a chance of getting a Dead Space site. So please don't do it. Again, this one is one that has system level, Tech level 3 and Tech level 2 sites. So the base is a Tech level 2. These system level 3 spawns, you can kill them, but they will not generate new spawns. So you won't get an Inquisitor or a Scout from it. You won't get a Dead Space because this one's too low a level. If you kill the ones with the green ticks, which are the level 2 or level 1, you will generate a new base with a small chance of it being a Scout or an Inquisitor anomaly. Going back into that, so it was 1 in 18.5. I'd heard it thrown around that it was about 1 in 10, which is probably more what I would have expected. I think a lot of these bases getting killed were probably more these yellow ones, which sort of throws the number out a little bit in that. So just a quick one from me, guys, and that's the end of it. I just wanted to bring that to you to raise your attention, and hopefully we can get some decent loot out of it if everyone plays along. So signing off. You will like it, give us a comment, whatever it is. Other than that, don't kill the bases, please, by all means, and kill all humans. No, I wasn't meant to say that. Kill all the bases. Don't kill the bases. Alright, I'm out.